Okay, so we are live now as my countdown has not worked again. This is the fourth time. Eventually, I'll master the slowness of counting down from 3. But I am so excited to have our next speaker here with us, Darion Robinson. And I have had the pleasure of working with him for the last a year now. A little over a year.
Longer than that.
Longer than that? Okay, last 2 years. And just working together on digital marketing and marketing in general. But he is going to be here in March to talk to you about SEO because he is the person that made me a believer in SEO. Because prior to talking to him and working with him, I totally would tell people that SEO was a joke. If you tried to use it, it would take months on months to even work, if ever. And so it was one of the hardest things to do in marketing, and I didn't even teach it. And then I met Darion. And so Darion, tell us more about you and your passion for SEO.
My passion for SEO. So yes, it started off as a passion because it was very new to me at the time, and I started this around 2014, maybe early 2015 is when I started learning. And I always say that to become an SEO believer, you have to do it or be around it, because it's not like Google Ads where you pay money and the effect of it is immediate, right? You can see that almost immediately. Whereas SEO is you do a change or make a change and it won't show up for another 5, 6, maybe 7, 8 months, almost to a year, just depending on what you do. So you have to be able to see that progress. And that's what really made me fall in love with it, because it's kind of like cat and mouse is how I look at it. So a little bit about me. Gosh, I have enjoyed my time working with Hannah. Wink, wink.
Thank you.
It's been great. And I think what we've done and what she's doing with Zigzag is going to be phenomenal. And I'm just really glad to be a part of it. So.
Well, thank you, Darion. And I loved how you mentioned like it was cat and mouse with SEO, because that is so what SEO is. But you almost gamified it right there, where, hey, if I do this, will you do that? So you turned it into a game. So you made it more fun. That's for sure. Well, whereas when I look at SEO, I look at it as this huge monster called Google saying, screw you.
That's true too.
So you look at it in a much better way. But I know we briefly talked about, maybe looking at the local side of SEO. So talk to us about what you'll be teaching in March, March 3rd. So he'll be teaching March 3rd on Business Day from 10 a.m. 10:45 a.m. 10:45. But talk to us about like what you'll be teaching.
So the way I see it breaking down is into 2 parts, and we'll break it into on-page optimization and off-page optimization. So the things that you should be doing for your local business that actually do involve your website, and the stuff that doesn't necessarily involve what your customers see on the website. To kind of break that down, I would think we would do maybe, and bear with me because it's probably bound to change, because we're probably going to want to go more in depth. But the gist of it would be maybe improving your rankings based on optimizing your images, using schema, having a fast loading website. That's a huge part of ranking any part of Google. And then how to let Google know that whether you have a new site or a redesigned site, and making them aware of that indication that it's been either redesigned or newly established. And then we'll talk about all the health stuff that goes in with your actual website and how to keep a healthy website. And that's all the on-page stuff. Off-page stuff, we'll talk about like how to actually rank your website in a local setting. So an example of this would be a spa that I worked with here in Loudoun County, Virginia. And we'll talk about that in a second. But another bullet point for that would be, how to build local citations to maximize your ranking potential, and then how to increase Google reviews for your business, because those are a huge aspect in ranking, especially locally. And then maybe we'll take a slight dive into backlinks, into how to look for the best backlinks for your local business, because they're going to be different for everything, because every business type is obviously different and requires different needs. But to talk about how this may work for your business, I'll give you an example. So a local spa in the Loudoun County area, which houses a lot of spas, it's a very, very rich, intense area, was a newly established business, good friend of mine. We were able to take them from not being on Google at all to being in the first top 3 section of Google for, some of the highest search terms, like the best spa in Leesburg, Virginia, which is a crazy good search term to even be ranking for. And the techniques that I'll try to show you guys on March 3rd are the same techniques actually that I did for the spa as well. So I'm very excited to get involved with that. Very excited to help you guys. And I don't know. Yeah. It's going to be very fun. Very fun.
All right. Cool. Well, let's back up a couple things though. So
yes.
The first thing he mentioned was there's a good chance this will change. So with SEO, things are changing. So between now and a month, it could change to make sure that he is teaching you what is super applicable and implementable to your business. The second part is if you were like me, mine just went, holy smoke, schema, backlinks, links all over. You are getting a workbook so that you can be writing down these things. The first time I went to a conference and somebody mentioned schema, I remember just being completely lost. And even still, I'm a little lost by what the heck schema is, which is why you'll have a workbook. I didn't have a workbook. I just had PowerPoints and I had to hope for the best. So you'll have a workbook to be able for free. So the workbook is included in your free 2-day ticket for days 1 and 2 to be able to do this. And so he's actually, like I said, when I went to a conference and heard schema, I just got lost. Darion will actually be teaching you in that 30 minutes things that you can implement to be able to change your business. So you might only get 1 or 2 things out of the session to be able to go make these small changes that can make big impact to your SEO. And then the next part is Darion will also be teaching an implementation workshop. So if you haven't looked at the implementation workshops, or you're like, okay, a half hour of Darion's time is not enough, I need more hours of his life. You have that opportunity because he'll be teaching an implementation workshop and where he'll get to sit down with you for 3 hours versus 30 minutes. And these 3 hours are limited to 10 people to come in there, and he's helping you with your business specifically. There's some pre-homework that you'll have to do to get into the class, and then you'll have some post-homework because 3 hours is not enough to change your SEO, but it is enough time for you to be on the right track to changing your SEO. So those are a couple things I want to make sure we mention, since I know he just talked about a ton in just a few minutes, and in 30 minutes, he's going to be able to elaborate on all those things. So, and then like he said, he did the one for the spa, and they're still in the top search, which is amazing. Because how long ago did you do that, Darion?
Ooh, it's been a while. July of 2019, we began that project.
Okay.
And it was early 2020. Yep, early 2020 that we really started seeing it on the first page, and then ever since it's just been increasing. And we haven't done much work towards it actually since, which is even more phenomenal. So it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Well, I love that you said they started in 2019, because to us now in 2021, that was so long ago. However, it took 6 months before he's seen results. And that was where, me as a digital marketer, loving email marketing, where you see that instant gratification, and with digital advertising, you're seeing that stuff a lot quicker. SEO is the longest game of any long game of marketing. And so him telling you right there, it took 6 months before he even saw traction to get to page 1. But after he got there, they were able to maintain it with only small tweaks going into it. So SEO is what you'll be learning from Darion, somebody that has taken websites from nothing and getting them on the first page of Google. So I'm so excited to have you. Tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Yes, the easiest way to get in touch with me would be by email. And the best email for that is info@darionrobinson.com. Very simple, very easy. And I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah. So if you have not got your ticket yet, make sure you do. It's been scrolling across the screen. I'm going to put it here too. So zigzagvirtual.com over there. So, make sure you get your ticket. Day 1, day 2 are free. You will learn from Darion on day 2 at 10:45 a.m. Central Time. Everything's in Central Time.
Yes.
So just know that you'll be seeing him plus a ton of other speakers. So I'm so excited to have you with us, Darion, and get your ticket, guys. If you haven't, if you haven't. And then tomorrow I'll be back with you to talking with another speaker who is on Mindset Day. So I'm super excited to talk to him. It's actually the first time I've talked to him So I'm super excited to bring him to you. But make sure you catch Darion's session March 3rd, 10:45 a.m. If you have a question before then, do not hesitate to reach out to Darion at info@darionrobinson.com. He is your SEO and website person. He does all of that. He's the expert. Message him, and I will see everyone tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.